Ask God to specifically tell you how he sees you and what he says about you. And here's the thing, you're only going to hear that when you're really pressing into him and having some quiet time, which, I don't know, I'll just be totally transparent here. That is a battle for me. Is it a battle for anyone else? Mm-hmm. I mean, I can read the Bible, and I can pray, me speaking to God, telling him what to do. I'm very good at that. Here's my list. But it's harder to just sit quietly and listen. Does anyone else find that to be the case? And yet, maybe we just have to get desperate enough for God to do that, and to sit there and say, okay, I'm sitting here and I'm not moving until you talk to me. I'm not going anywhere. Because when I've done that, it's always been so rewarding. He'll maybe give me just a little vision or a whisper of a word or a thought or a verse to look up or something, and it's meant everything to me. And so if we're going to ask him to tell us how he sees us, which will totally change our insecurity around, we're going to have to wait on him. We're going to have to sit quietly and close our eyes. It's really helpful sometimes if you put on, I find it helpful anyway, to put on instrumental worship music of tunes that I don't really know the words, because otherwise you start singing, which is good, but then I'm not listening. So I try to find instrumental music that's just, anyway, that helps me close my eyes. And then something that's helped me, it's helped a lot of other people. In fact, I had an author who wrote a whole book on this subject, so I guess it's helped a lot of people. He said that he again closes his eyes, has some music on, and then he purposely just envisions walking into God's throne room or walking into a specific setting, envisioning God is already waiting there for him. And it's like he's there. And it works for me. For me, it's always in a meadow with a little pristine babbling brook, and it's just a beautiful mountain meadow, and we walk together along the brook, and I don't see him, but I know he's right next to me, and we walk along, and he whispers things to me, and maybe gives me a little vision here and there that help navigate, help me to navigate life, and he speaks kind words to me. If you hear condemning, harsh words, that's probably not God. I would be really leery about that. I do not think that would be the way that God would speak to you. He might gently convict you, but every time he's convicted me, and I've had some need to be convicted, even then he's been so gentle, so gentle. So if you're hearing harsh, condemning words, probably not God. So I would encourage you this week, again, to take some quiet time with God. Envision walking into his throne room and how beautiful it would be, or envision walking in a meadow or wherever it might be for you, and envision that he is waiting there and that you're before him or that he's walking beside you, and just ask him to speak to you about how he sees you. Again, don't feel bad if you're not hearing something right now, but keep on trying this, because you know what? He loves it when we seek him. He loves it. He adores you. He delights in you. He wants you to seek his presence. So try this. Try it every day if you have to. And you'll hear that. I'm just confident you'll hear him whisper a word like precious or beautiful, and it just starts to fill you up. And that starts to overcome that insecurity. Right after I got divorced, because yes, this is my second marriage, I was at a kind of a low spot. In many ways, my son had also gotten into legal trouble. And so I was just completely a basket case about that, and I'm alone, I'm divorced, and it's like, okay, here I am. And I did this thing called pressing in and seeking God big time, and I'm telling you, those are the sweetest times. Sometimes the times where you have the most pain are the sweetest times, because you really do end up pressing into God because you have nothing else. You're just like, I don't know what else to do. But he promises to respond when you press in. Psalm 34. I sought the Lord, and he answered me. He delivered me from all my fears. Those who look to him are radiant. Their faces are never covered with shame. I love that verse, because I want to be radiant, and it's like, and that's what happens when we really seek God.